Hello, I'll try not to waffle on too much. So, I thought I'd do another little Tesla video just to kind of explain around this thing here. So you'll know that if you've got a Tesla Model 3 or you're looking at a Tesla Model 3, there's nothing just there. There's just this screen. Now I'm in the UK, so on the right hand side you've got an overview of your car, and I'm parked at the moment, so this is how it looks when you're parked. And I'm not going to be driving today because I'm holding the phone. So you've got the car, you've got a bunch of buttons on here. So there's kind of like no physical buttons in the car apart from opening the vehicle and putting the windows up and down. So anyway, let's get to this. You can open what they call the frunk, in other words the front bonnet, by opening and pressing that button there, and the rear one here, and the charging socket there. You have the speed just here. A bunch of information comes up across here when I put my foot on the brake, and then it lights up and does a bit of a test of the car. You're in park, reverse, neutral and drive, and you do that via a stalk on the right hand side of your steering wheel. I've got the name of the car here, we call ours Nikki. Down here there are 3 buttons. One brings up the rear view camera, which in this particular version I haven't got the blind spot mirror ones just yet. That's the next software version. This one here brings up charging, and then we can schedule the charging to be for a departure, so it warms the car up whilst it's plugged in and gets the battery ready for that time of morning that you want to leave. Not quite what I would want it to be yet, because I think it needs to be certain days of the week that you can schedule it for. You've got the current charge, so if I was plugged in now and charged, it tells me how many amps that I'm getting. That at home goes up to 32 amps because I've got a Tesla charger. And then if you go to a supercharger, that's how much it would cost you to charge at the supercharger. Just here is the level of your battery. That's where my battery is now, and it tells me I've got 219 miles, and I can set the limit of how much I want to charge. So that's kind of where I leave my limit now, but if I wanted to do a trip, I could go all the way up to the top, or as I said, I tend to keep mine just below there and as a kind of standard. Anyway, that's the charging side of it. Going along the top here, passenger airbag, you can turn on and turn off, and you do it through the security and safety. You've got Bluetooth. Obviously my phone is plugged in here. When Teslas first come out to you, you get premium connectivity, and in that premium connectivity comes things such as Spotify and other stuff, which I'll show you in a second. But it also comes with maps such as this. So you've got like Google Maps with a satellite finish. Obviously I'm parked around a place called Wolverton at the moment, whilst my wife is doing the shopping. So in here you can do where you got north up, or you can do where you'll follow the vehicle going around. You can zoom in, zoom out. Just here you can go to a normal sort of model, so used to seeing it, or you go back to the satellite, or if you press that button there, that will save some well, I'll come to that because that actually saves some bits and pieces up here. And then you can find superchargers, so wherever the nearest superchargers are and whatever you want to go to, so if you wanted to navigate to those. Right, so normal navigation comes from there. It tells you where you want to go and what you want to do, and you can put stuff in there as you go, so not too much, don't need to concentrate too much on that. Up the top here, again, we'll come over to this side, say it is connected to the internet via 4G or whatever connection it's getting at the time. That comes with the car. Here you've got dash cam footage, so that's running all the time, so it's recording a number of cameras from around the car. So basically it records front, rear and 2 side at the moment. Here you've got Sentry Mode, where you can leave the vehicle and it will be recording through all those cameras, so if anything happens to the vehicle you can play it back. Just here you've got various different driver profiles, which moves your mirrors, moves your steering wheel and moves your seats to wherever you want to go. Just here you've got the overall Tesla that brings up the vehicle and all the information around that. Just here you've got the temperature displayed, and here the time and the lock button, which locks the doors from just there. Okay, so going down this bottom here, if you want to turn the stereo up and down, you do it from this corner. If you want to turn the front and the rear defrost on for the windows. You can do it from there. Seat heater, normal kind of temperature thing to control the fan. And then from here, obviously, you'll know if you've looked at any Tesla videos before that you can actually change the direction of where the air is coming out. And then you've got some settings up here. So if you, it says here that climate will turn off after you leave the car, because that's what it's set at, or it will stay on and until your battery gets down to 20%. Or if you've got a dog in the car, you can leave it set to dog, so when you close it, it keeps the cabin temperature down to an acceptable level to keep the dog alive, which is good. Or you can have camp mode, which comes on after 10 or 15 minutes of you being parked up, and then a nice little picture of fire comes on and it keeps you as warm as you need to do. So that's if you were camping out in it overnight. Anyway, we have that set to normal, but then you've got some other controls in here. Won't bore you too much with those, but obviously they're all fairly straightforward. Bringing up here, it's a little up arrow that came in here, which is now an X. What you can do is you bring up some other commands. So you've got your phone commands there, you've got a calendar which is linked to your phone, you've got that rear view camera again, you've got energy, which we've already seen. Oh, let's bring that back up. So if I go to energy, that shows me my consumption and what I've done, and also it will show me consumption for a particular trip, and will also show me either my instant range, my average range, or certainly over a period. So in the last 5 miles, this is the kind of the burning of electricity that I've done, and what my typical average line is too. The car does tend to get played with at the moment because it's not really being used for very long journeys, because we're in this lockdown, semi-lockdown, not going to work situation. Bring that back up. The other thing you can do is look at the web. So if you wanted to, you could get to a website, so it brings up a web browser, and that's got eBay that's just come up because I was looking for something in there. You've also got entertainment, so you can watch Netflix, YouTube, Twitch, not quite sure what that is, and any Tesla tutorials, which you can also go to. They're available online too. Then you can go to not entertainment, just on that. Then you can go to Toy Box. These are the sort of things that that Tesla do just to kind of like just to play. So I'm sure that if you've seen Tesla videos, you know that you can okay, fart on demand and fart on turn signal, depending on obviously what kind of mood you're in, I'm guessing at the time. Tracks is something to do with recording your next audio masterpiece, so you can have a little bit of a play, a little bit like GarageBand in Apple. Romance, if you want a fire, you get cozy, and then everything changes, up comes a fire, nice little burning fire, and everything comes warm, and the temperature is quite nice. And then if you tap the screen, you can have a bit of nice music, or if you tap the screen again, then you come back out a bit. Sketchpad, this is just so you can sketch on the screen. Yeah, okay. You can drive on Mars. Never really kind of like worked out what the point is of that, really, to be honest. Santa Mode's always good fun, especially at Christmas time, where the visual screen is snow coming down, and you can have a bit of jingly time when you've got it on. I'll just do that when you indicate. It does that, which is quite fun Christmas time, I suppose. Anyway, turn that off. And Rainbow Road is a bit of fun. That obviously, if you pull the gear stalk down 4 times, when auto steer is engaged, then the road all kind of goes all. It's gimmicky. That's good fun though. And that's kind of like it, apart from a video that I'll do at some point when I get a camera in here about the driving. So the driving's really cool. The displays are really cool. Oh, one other thing to show you, obviously you can swipe left and it will give you miles you've driven since your previous charge, and if you swipe right, it shows you what the PSI are of your tyres. And that's the little video. Don't want to bore you anymore, but I'll put a few more up of the driving business, because I think that's quite fun about how things are. So thanks for watching. It's an easy one. It's 10 minutes. I hope you're not bored. Don't forget to do the subscribe thing, please, because there's plenty of videos coming up, all things either Tesla or motorcycle and travel. So anything. Yeah, thank you. Take care. See you soon.